you by Michelin, because so much is riding on your tire. And brought to you by Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse. Lowe's, improving home improvement. By Pepto-Bismol, first aid for stomachs, use as directed. And by Valvoline's Max Life. Take better care of your higher mileage vehicle with Valvoline's Max Life. If I hadn't seen it, I wouldn't have believed it. Elliott Sadler's going to make a run for the lead against Jeff Gordon, and watch how this turns out.
Yeah, I mean, when that happened right there, Kurt Busch was 4 or 5 car lengths behind him at the start-finish line.
Elliott was just being too cautious, and he didn't, you know, it's late in the race, he doesn't want to mess up. I understand that, but this cat here was back far enough. He got that momentum off of turn 2, and around both of them he went, baby.
And Sadler knew you can't go into that corner 3 wide. Somebody's got to lift. Wow.
There's so much momentum. I mean, the 97 was wide open off that corner where the other two were pedaling, trying to keep off each other.
So Kurt Busch is the new leader, and he has driven away. It took Sadler a while to get past Jeff Gordon. Took him 2 laps to finally seal that deal. So Kurt Busch now has a 1.4-second lead.
But boy, Jeff Gordon, when he went. He has dropped all the way back to 8th position, Darrell. I think he just used that right front tire. We heard him say he's been pushing off the corner, and I think the right front tire is gone on that race.
And guess what? I bet Kurt Busch's power steering is working just fine now.
Feels pretty good.
Yeah, I think the power steering is going to be okay.
Tony Stewart and Dale Jarrett, UPS Ford, closing up now on
Now
wow.
Here comes Ricky Craven in that Pontiac, in the Tide car. I mean, here he is. He's all over the back of Elliott Sadler.
And of course, Rusty Wallace and Dale Jarrett, they're racing for position even though they're 2 laps down.
And there's Dave Blaney. I mean, we got some guys up here that, you know, would you predict that some of these cats would be up front at the end of the day?
You heard Scott Miller, Ricky Craven, Elliott Sadler. He just about got that Darlington stripe right there in 1 and 2, but you heard him say his car, Ricky Craven, the Tide car, good on long runs. There's the car good on long runs, though. Dave Blaney in that 77 car.
But you know what? I believe that the 38, the 24, I think those guys used their stuff up racing each other.
Yes.
And now these guys are kind of laid back, and here we come.
And I think where it really showed up was in the beginning on that restart. Looked like Ricky Craven and Dave Blaney took it easy when those tires were fresh and the air pressure were down.
And there goes the 32 by the 38 right there. And Blaney is all over the back of him. And here comes Dale Jr.
And here come 3 of those cars.
And here comes Mark. Mark's going to get a big run.
3 of those cars that were not running hard right at the restart, racing everybody. Craven, Blaney, Jr.
And Kurt Busch, Jimmy Finney, his crew chief, they're loving this because they have put almost 3/4 of a straightaway on those guys back there beating and banging like this with about 15 laps to go.
It's simple, Larry. You got to start last. Last year, Sterling Marlin had trouble, started this race last. Kurt Busch lost an engine in practice, started 42nd, and now he leads by 3 seconds.
Well, I don't know. I think Jeff Gordon is just, I don't know what's wrong that happened to his car, but he's dog meat now. There's a cat that's led this race forever, sit out there, didn't look like anybody could touch him, and he is going backwards at a high rate of speed.
Matt can update us.
DW, the crew is speculating he's not the tow. Remember, earlier in the race, Gordon made hard contact with the 88 coming down the front stretch. That was the 2nd hit. The team is speculating Gordon's knocked the toe out. All he said was, I messed up, I got in the wall.
And when you knock that toe out, that definitely can make one of these things push and drive where the front end don't turn.
And just being towed out, Larry, will that kill your tire wear?
Yes, sir, it will. I mean, these things are designed. We keep talking about this toe out. It's about 1/8 of an inch. That means the front of the front tires are an 1/8 inch wider than the rear. That gives you stability getting in the corner.
Plus, we saw that fender damage, Larry. I think that's the big issue. You lost the downforce on the nose. It burnt that right front tire up.
13 laps to go.
I mean, Jeff Gordon, he's almost getting close to a half a lap down, and that's all happening in about 9 laps.
Mark Martin keeps coming. He's past Dale Earnhardt Jr. now for 4th place.
I tell you, Mark Martin keeps coming, but the cats that are coming are that 32 and that 77. They're not too far behind Kurt Busch in closing.
Kurt Busch, he has fairly clean racetrack in front of him. We'll see Larry Ford up there in the 14 car by himself several laps down, so he has fairly clean racetrack.
Fastest car on the speedway is Ricky Craven, followed closely by Dave Blaney.
Craven is coming. I'm telling you, I don't think he's going to have time. But if something happened to Busch, you get up here and get in traffic and get woed up a little bit, we got another race on it. We got a race to the finish.
Craven is 1/4 of a second faster than Kurt Busch with 12 laps to go, Darrell. That's enough time. If he keeps that up, it's just barely enough time to catch him.
Put that old washing machine on high speed and let her go.
That time he was 2/10 of a second quicker, so he's definitely catching him.
And how about Dave Blaney hunting his first top 5 Winston Cup finish?
If I was Dave Blaney, Booty, and those guys, I'd feel like I won this race because this is a great run for that team. That cat's going to win a race, Larry. That 77 car with Booty over there, they're going to win a race before too long.
He's been flirting with it, but you know, he seems like he runs good at places where you slide around. What did he do most of his career?
Slid around most of his career. And guess where we're going that quick? You got to have a little of that high bank, slide around attitude. Oh, Gordon's in the wall. Gordon's in the wall, and Kenny Wallace got into the back of him.
No caution.
We're going to stay green. 10 laps to go. The right front gone on Gordon's car. 10 to go. And Darrell, looking at this lead pack, how about Ricky Craven and Dave Blaney in second and third? First, let's see Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, he gets into turn 3 here. Car goes up the hill, up the hill. Looks like she just doesn't want to turn, and bam, right in the wall it goes, and that's just no grip. Lack of grip.
Almost collected Kenny Wallace.
Kenny Wallace bammed into the back of him, but he kept on going.
Look at second and third places. Gordon comes around, and he'll go to pit road with 9 laps to go. You have single car teams running in second and third. You have the Roush juggernaut leading this race with Busch first and Mark Martin in fourth, but single car teams second and third. How about that?
But that 97 car could win every race we go to. He is that good. That car is that good. If they have no engine failures, they have no mechanical failures, that cat can win every race.
And you know what? Jack Roush has to be feeling good about that race car up there within less than 10 laps of leading this race with all the motor problems. There you see Jack Roush there. Jeff Burton, their teammate, losing a motor early in the race. He has to feel good right now. And I bet he can't wait to get back to the shop to tear these engines apart.
Yeah, and he's got Mark up there in 4th place, too. So, I mean, he's had it. You know, you got a lot of cars, you're going to have some trouble.
It's been feast or famine for Kurt Busch this year. Second at Daytona, second at Rockingham, out of the race at Vegas and Atlanta, and a win at Darlington, perhaps.
I don't know. I wouldn't count it as a win, man, because that 32 is coming, I'm telling you.
For the 24 is in DW. They're pulling out the fender on the right front, changing all 4 tires. He's good to go.
4 races at Darlington have been determined by a last lap pass. Joe Weatherly, Leroy Yarborough, Darrell Waltrip, and Dale Earnhardt were the fellows who did it.
This 37 is buzzing and stuff bad off the corner today. Y'all are catching in the line.
Blaney kicks the back end out.
He's going to catch 97, and we'll be right there, buddy.
And what they're telling Dave Blaney is it looks like Ricky Craven will trench Kurt Busch